Hello. In 1953, a young country boy, 13 years old, was driving a tractor across the red clay fields of West Tennessee. The tractor was a John Deere A model, which only had 38 horsepower, so things were happening pretty slowly. He had plenty of time to daydream. What job would he have? Would he ever own a house? Would he have a wife and family? Oh, he was aware of the girls, but he was pretty much afraid of them. How much money would he need? How much money could he make? $1,000 a month seemed like would be what was needed, but that seemed absolutely impossible at the time. You see, that young boy in Tennessee was me. My name is Darrel Smith, and Glenda, my wife of 63 years, and I live in western South Dakota near the Black Hills and Mount Rushmore. We were both born on small farms in West Tennessee near Munford. Munford at that time had a population of about 800 or 900. Our graduating class from high school had about 45 or 44 students. The vast majority of those people got a job after graduation and stayed with that job until they either retired or died. At that time, nobody encouraged students to go on to our advanced education. There was two things that happened in my life and if it happened to me, it happened to Glenda because we were together a long time. It happened in our life that enabled us to move away from that rural environment. And that was football and the Marine Corps. My mom did not want me to play football. She thought it was a dangerous sport and you could get hurt. Well, I watched the first game in my high school career from the grandstands. I couldn't take it. Next day I was on the football team and stayed there for 4 years. With some success. I was a running back and I carried the ball a lot. I was surprised, however, when toward the end of the football season, my senior year, college scouts started showing up. They showed interest in myself and one other player. They were interested they tried to talk us into becoming part of their athletic program. I ended up going to the University of Tennessee at Martin. It was called UTMB, University of Tennessee Martin Branch at that time, and it was a small school. I had a full ride scholarship, which meant I had food, books, tuition, everything was paid. So I was pretty lucky there. I was also fairly successful in football, in my football career. During the years at college, a Marine recruiter showed up on campus and he was selling or trying to encourage us guys to go join the Marine Corps in the PLC program. PLC stood for Platoon Leaders Class. And a platoon in the Marine Corps has 40 to 50 men and their leader is a lieutenant. So if we stayed in their program and graduated from college, we would be designated Marines second lieutenant, and we would be possibly assigned to a platoon. Well, during the second year of that training, two different training sessions, both of them in Quantico, Virginia, both of them 6 weeks, and at different summers. So during the second summer after my junior year, we were formed up in formation, and our drill instructor said the following people fall out for flight physicals. He called my name. I was really a surprise, but I was really happy because the hospital was air conditioned and nobody would be yelling at me all day long. I passed the flight physical. When my platoon leader found out that myself and two other guys had passed the physical for 2 or 3 days after that. Anytime the platoon would take a break, the three of us would have to stand up and march around or jog around the group saying zoom, 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 as if we're flying. My platoon leader told me, you will never make it in the flight program. He said they have a machine down there that is on rails, and it goes down those rails into a swimming pool and then turns upside down, and you're strapped in it. You've got to unstrap and get out of there. He said, you'll never make it. Well, I fooled him. Anyway, I got my degree, was designated as second lieutenant, and my first duty station was in Pensacola, Florida. Glenda and I had been married not too long from there, and so we were on our first adventure out into the big world. Training was 15 months of stressful, hard work. During this training, I became aware of another student. His name is Larry R. Gibson, and he was from Kentucky and I'm Tennessee, so we had our own special accent. Anyway, we kind of paralleled through the Marine Corps for the first session there. He and I found out later that we hit the boat, and that's a word meaning that we made arrested and catapult takeoffs from a carrier for the first time. So we were actually the same day we did that. We worked together in a squadron in North Carolina, and we spent a year in the same air group in Vietnam. I saw him several times, but I don't remember ever flying a combat mission with him. We parted ways. I got out of the Marine Corps, and he stayed in for a career, but we lost track of each other for many, many years. Somehow I forget now how we got back together, but we talked, we emailed and talked on the phone, and eventually got together. In the process of getting to know each other, he informed me that he had written a book. He was pretty proud of that. I read the book, and I thought that was I was pretty proud of him, because it's hard work to write a book. Well, he was aware of the adventures, many of the adventures that Glenda and I had witnessed and partaken in, and he suggested that I write the stories down, make them written stories, in that when I died, if I didn't write them down, those stories would die with me. Soon after I was gone, the stories would be gone also. I agreed with him in that none of my parents or grandparents had written anything down. I knew a little bit about them, vaguely remember them, my grandparents, but I don't know their stories at all. Anyway, Larry stayed after me, and I started writing my stories, and he continued to insist that I write. And we got enough of them together that we thought maybe we would try to make a book. During the process of writing the stories, I got help from everybody, especially Glenda. She's a good speller, and I think won the spelling contest in our high school. I didn't know how to turn on a spell checker or didn't have one on my computer, and I cannot tell you how many times I turned to her and said, Glenda, how do you spell whatever word I was looking for? She would put down whatever she was doing and spell the word correctly most of the time, nearly all the time. Anyway, the stories piled up, and one day at a family type meeting, our daughter Kelly simply said, Dad, if you want to make a book out of your stories, I can do that. And I didn't understand what you were saying. And she said, yes, I can do that. And what I didn't know was that she had formatted and had printed several books for a friend who was a novel writer. And I think it was probably 10 or 12 books. And she said, no, I can do it. I said, well, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. And she knew how to self-publish and it was not very expensive at all. So anyway, there you have it. I've written the 2 books, and my writing days are over. I don't have any more stories, but my kids and the grandkid, Mayan, insists that I should tell these stories via video. Well, here's what I'm trying to do. My goal is to record some of these stories and put them on video, and if we can, I don't know, I guess they'll go on the internet somewhere. They know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. So anyway, that's our goal. I'm trying to get things set up so that I can make some videos. This is my first try. I've always not had much fun in public speaking. I've done it. I've had to do it a number of times, and I'm not in my comfort zone sitting looking at a camera trying to tell stories. So bear with me. Anyway, that's the story. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.